It is currently 7:52, Sunday, November 29th, 2015. Welcome to Evening Tea. This is a second continuation.
The second
of our
continuation. The third episode. Of our past summer.
So starting off with after the camping trip.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So after the camping trip, which happened in
how many
June,
days after
which we described to you after we described August.
So
now
we're kind of out of order.
July.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you asking? Sorry.
Yeah.
How many days after?
Yeah. So how many days after we went camping was the New York trip?
Oh, the New York
It was quite
trip,
a while after. I'm pretty sure, wasn't it?
It wasn't. No. Oh yeah. After camping, it was. It was 2 weeks or so, but yeah, because we left July 10th. No, we left the 11th actually. I'm pretty sure. And we is Hannah, Abby, Sharon, Reggie, and I. We left.
Not Jillian.
Not Jillian. No, she stayed home. So we all. The reason for this trip, it wasn't just to New York. It was to pick up. One of the reasons was to pick up. Not an exchange student, but a person who. Okay, this is a confusing connection.
Just a
to
person
describe.
who was visiting America.
Yeah, who was visiting America,
who
and
got connected to this family
by the
on
owner of the dance school to which the children go. So
there was a connection.
The owner of
long
the
story
dance
short,
schools,
she came
for
4 weeks.
For 4 weeks,
which we had explained earlier.
Which we talked about a little bit.
Just to experience America.
Yeah, and lived with the McCarthys. They've done this a few times. So we were going to Boston to pick her up, and also Abby had her college orientation at SUNY Purchase.
Which was how many days? Was that just a few?
It was just
few hours.
It was just one day. Yeah, it was pretty much. Yeah, it wasn't all day. I guess it was just 3 or 4 hours probably. So we leave Bangor. I don't remember what time. I don't remember the first day. I feel like we stopped at the beach because that's what we tend to do when we're with them on long trips. I feel like that happened. Not positive.
But we've been to the beach so many times.
Now I remember. I'm 100% sure we stopped at the beach because I got a horrible sunburn on my legs.
Oh, yes.
Excruciating.
Was that not on the way back?
No, that was on the way down.
I
remember being
in the
hotel room
about it.
Yeah. It was horrible. Lasted a very long time.
Did you not wear sunscreen?
Well, I did, but not enough, apparently. So we stopped at Wells Beach and spent a few hours there because we like the beach, I guess. I'm not a big fan of it. It's always cold. But it was on the way. So after Wells Beach, we drive down to... Wait, we may have stayed in Portland for one night. I can't remember. This was only 3 months ago. I can't remember. But
anyway, after you made it to Boston.
Yeah, I think we stayed in Portland or Wells one night. So we make it down to Boston the next day. Maybe we stayed in Boston. I don't remember. Anyway, and we had to pick Jean, the name of that's her name. We had to pick her up from Logan Airport in Boston. So we get there.
Was it a one-way flight from France?
One-way flight? She went... I don't know. What do you mean? Direct?
Was it just like... Yeah, was it just like Boston or France-Boston?
Yeah, I think so.
Really? That's cool.
Well, yeah, Air France does that. And it's Boston, not Bangor.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I mean...
But, yeah, So, as we're driving there, we're almost to the airport. We get a call from the person who connected the two people together, saying that her flight had been delayed earlier that morning between 2 and 4 hours. I can't remember what it was. And we're like, what are we going to do for between 2 to 4 hours in Boston? And what we ended up doing was nothing. We didn't do anything. We drove around a little bit, not in just outskirts of Boston. And
which is very boring.
We had to go
There's
to
not much in the outskirts
somebody
of
had to
Boston.
go to the bathroom. Can't remember who. It may have been more than one person, but we parked outside of a hotel that the McCarthys had stayed at quite a few times, and we just went in the hotel and used the bathroom. Came out of the hotel and went over to where we parked. We actually had to take a bus, like a airplane shuttle bus from where we parked to the airport. So we parked, and the parking lot was connected to the hotel, now that I think about it. Then we took a bus from the outside of the entrance of the hotel to the airport, where we waited. It was only supposed to be... She landed about half an hour after we got there. But U.S. Customs, which are crazy, we didn't see her for another hour at least after that. And after she landed, we stood up and stood at the gate waiting for her. And we just waited and waited and waited.
Yeah.
And then we got her. And time to go. And we left. And
At this point, had you been to the orientation?
No,
you were just heading down.
We were heading down, yeah.
So it was a very large multitasking trip.
Yeah.
So you also saw Tommy too, right?
Yes. So we...
Which is the brother of...
The brother of...
the McCarthys.
Yeah.
Pretty large family,
Yeah,
now that I think of it.
4 kids, yeah. So we've got Jean, and we get back on the bus. Never, we just met her. She doesn't know us at all.
Completely stranger to everybody.
Stranger. Never been anywhere in America. Well, actually, she had been before. When she was very young. She doesn't remember it,
in
though.
the pictures, she looked very out of place to me. Like everybody was, standing around, doing the things that we usually, or you guys do, in photos, posing and stuff. And she was just kind of
there with her
standing
hands together.
Yeah.
That was just then, and then she got used to us more. But it's a lot, especially when you come in a big city. But so we get back to the car, and Sharon says, "Oh, look at our small American car," and of course we have the giant white 12-passenger van with us.
Right.
It was a joke, but she didn't understand it. And so now it's time to drive to New York.
We slowly trained her to understand puns.
Yes.
At the end of the trip,
she
laughed
laughed a lot more near the end because she understood a lot more. And we're hilarious. So it's hard to deal with when people don't laugh. So we're driving to New York, and we try to call her parents using the extensions and country codes, and it doesn't work. We can't get it to work. So we're like, okay, we'll send her an email. Then she tries to type in French on an English keyboard and tries to correct everything she types, and it's all wrong and stuff. So then we have to add French to the keyboard.
Don't speak any English, do they?
Very not much, I don't think. So eventually she sends an email to her parents, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Just saying that she landed safely and whatnot. And then she takes out this bag of candy, and we're like, "What are those?" And we were talking. She was very overwhelmed, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was thinking, obviously, but it's a lot to take in. We're all not yelling, but talking and speaking relatively quickly for a new a person who's never really heard native speakers.
And you guys were all comfortable with each other, and she was the only one there that hadn't.
And she takes out this bag of candy, and they're Smurfs. They're little candy Smurfs, and in French it's Schtroumpf. And we talked about that for 15 or 20 minutes, just how that was odd, and kept asking her words in French and whatnot, because Reggie was the only one there who didn't know any French at all.
I'm a little let down that I didn't go.
I know. But all of us could speak French except Reggie. Not fluently. Sharon can speak fluently. Obviously, Jean, a native speaker, can.
Most of us can.
But we can understand and hold a conversation, but Reggie takes Spanish. So we arrive in New York.
Sharon doesn't know any Spanish, does she?
Yeah, she does. Oh, she does. No, she's not like conversational. I don't think. I'm not sure. Actually, I don't know.
Sharon,
she knows quite a bit of Chinese.
Do you speak any English?
Because we know you're listening.
I mean, correct that. Do you speak any Spanish?
Yeah. You can comment on Spotify, so everybody will be looking for your comment. Anyway, we get to New York. Where did we stay? We stayed in Elmsford. On the way to New York, we stopped at the Cracker Barrel, the restaurant, which has this giant gift shop. It's one of the most American.
We happened to stop at that we stopped on the way back too.
Most American restaurants you could possibly think of, like it. I mean,
you
some
walk
people
in,
probably you go in. It's a loud country music gift shop with toys and candy and all this American paraphernalia, and we sit down, and the menu's just steaks and hamburgers and whatnot, and then all of us get like salad, and whatnot, and it's loud. It's, oh my goodness, very brown. The color scheme is it's just all brown. If you think about
it's crackers wood are brown,
wood and
are brown.
Wood is everything brown. In there is brown.
The wood that makes the
dark yellow.
Yeah, flour is generally brown.
Yes. Anyway, so we get to New York. I can't remember the order of the days. I can't remember. Oh, never mind. So we get to the hotel in New York and go to bed.
How close is it to Times Square?
This hotel?
Yeah.
Not an hour and a half.
Oh,
it's
okay.
the same hotel we stayed at. Yeah.
Oh,
in Elmsford.
That one. Yeah. Pretty nice hotel.
Yeah.
Far away from the city.
Yeah, it's not in the city.
And we think that they might have stolen Gabe's wallet.
Well,
but that's another story.
Yeah. I lost it there, I think. I don't know. But so we get there and we go to bed. It was pretty late. I don't think we went to bed though. I think we got Chinese food that night, or maybe it was the night after the next night. But we went swimming the next morning, and then it was time quickly. It was just Hannah, Jean, and I think, and because Abby had to be dropped off at orientation, and we were going up there a little later to get a tour. And so we go up to her college, and she's in orientation, and we get a tour, go around the college. It's really nice college. And we
this is SUNY.
Purchase, yeah.
Which she ended up going to.
Obviously,
okay. Orientation. Okay.
But so we get back to the hotel. We all go swimming. There's plenty of time. I think this is the way it went. And we go to a restaurant to eat and go to bed. Then the next day, we go to New York City, which is a big thing for someone who doesn't speak English.
It's a big thing
and it's a big thing for everybody. It's very overwhelming for
anybody.
Americans and English speakers.
Especially people who live in places like Maine.
But she lives in a small town in France and speaks French, she does speak English quite well.
Oh, she speaks French?
But so we get there, we take a train from Tarrytown to the city, come out in Grand Central Station. I think it's Terminal 118. I think that's what it was. I'm not positive. Not that that matters. We get there. We look around in Grand Central Station forever because it's really nice. And we go outside. We see the glass doors to the outside. We open the doors, and just as we open them, we step outside, and it begins pouring. Pouring rain. Just really, really, really strong. I guess I don't know how to describe it. Heavy, yeah. And we don't. What are we gonna do? We're not gonna call a cab. That's weird. No. So we just walk in the pouring rain.
Where's the car at this point?
In Elmsford, or in Tarrytown. We took a train. We took a train to the city. Yeah.
What type of train? Like a subway kind of thing?
No, it was a train.
Okay. It was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the... Okay, so it's just larger and more comfortable.
Yeah, and it's outside.
It doesn't have seats. I mean, it doesn't have benches. It has seats.
Yeah, it has seats, yeah. And we're walking around. We get to Times Square, just the outside, and like we have to come back at night. That's not a big deal right now. Times Square is sort of boring and gross during the day, but at night that's.
Well, I wouldn't say
really,
it's boring.
Not boring and gross, but when it's pouring rain and it's smoggy and foggy and there's people and there's construction work all around, like there always is. So we went to the M&M store and stopped by the Nintendo store, and we were going to go to the Museum of Natural History for a few hours. Yeah, Nintendo store.
Oh, that's cool.
We were going to go to the Museum of Natural History, but we decided that since they were closing in 15 minutes, that would be a bad choice. Yeah.
Or second.
It would be my third time, but the first time was a long time ago, I think. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've gone 3 times.
I went twice because I went when I first went alone with my mom.
Oh, yeah.
And then we went a second time.
So we decided not to go to the Museum of Natural History, and we decided to go to Museum of Modern Art, which was really, really cool because we saw a lot of cool things, and
including
Starry Night. Oh, that was cool, and like Cezanne and Picasso and whatnot. It was really cool. We were only there for about an hour and a half or 2 hours. Then after that, it's nice and it's sunny out, and so we go to Central Park and walk around a little bit. Then I'm like, we've got to go to this music store, Sam Ash. Noah and I had been there. And like, I know exactly where it is. It's in Times Square. Here. Oh, wait, it's not there anymore. Where could it be?
What do you mean?
And so we look it up.
They didn't move?
Yeah, they moved to a different place in New York on 33rd Street, which is not. No. Well, I mean, it's sort of close to
that's weird.
Times Square.
I wonder why they moved.
Actually, now that I think about it, the first thing we did when we got there, before we went to the M&M store, is we went to Carmine's, the restaurant, which Noah and I ate at twice when we were down there.
I thought it was really good.
It was really good, and
it's like right there though.
And it was really good food, like always, and it was a good way to show that Americans don't only eat Cracker Barrel food. It's really good Italian food. And it's Italian food. What do you mean? All the waiters are Italian.
No, I know, but downtown Times Square, and you've got Italian food.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd much rather have Italian food than American food.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
I mean, American food's like, Oh, let's have macaroni and cheese and hot dogs. Hot dogs are actually German.
Actually, I think pizza is American.
No, even though it's invented in China.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
we talked about that. Probably
anyway,
not on a podcast.
So, we find Sam Ash, and people are like, no, we're tired. We don't want to go. Like, no, it's definitely.
We had to go to the Nintendo store.
No, it was fine. It was fun. I didn't really want to go, but it was fun when we got there. And when we get there, they're like, "Oh my God, this is the best place I've ever been." Yeah. I mean, it's even better than it used to be. Like it all used to be spread out.
They had like guitar sections.
I don't know. I think
keyboard.
We didn't go over there. No, it was all one building now. It used to be in separate buildings and across the street, but now it's all one section, but with several rooms.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. And we spent probably an hour there. Then for dinner, because we had lunch earlier, we had, like most people, for dinner we had Baskin Robbins ice cream. And then we decided to stop by Central Park. Stop by
Cheesecake Place.
No, we were going to eat at that cheesecake place. Can't remember what it's called, but there was construction work going on.
Is it like a Rosie's or something
Roxy's
like
Bakery, I think. Best cheesecake in the world. $12 a slice. Really, really good. Definitely worth it. So
not a sponsor.
No, not a sponsor. We don't have sponsors. So I'm like, okay, we'll go through Times Square one more time before we go, so we can see it at night, which is always worth it. And we took pictures, and then we walked to Grand Central Station, and got to see New York at night, which is really nice. Everything was all lit up. It was dark enough that everything was all lit up, but it wasn't super late. And then we go back to the hotel and go to bed.
Oh, you slept.
And yeah, well, it took us a long time. When we go, like we said in 2 episodes ago, I guess we just didn't sleep during the summer because we had too much to do. So the next day,
by choice,
we've got to get up. I probably missed so many details in the story.
Yeah,
but I'll never remember them. Next day we get up and we go to. We have to drive to Allentown, which is where Tommy goes to school at Muhlenberg. So we drive there. It's in Pennsylvania. Get to the hotel, and that night that afternoon we go to Muhlenberg to look around and have lunch and see Tommy for a little bit. Get to see his lab and his circus training. He does do circus training there, which was really cool. And then we go back to the hotel to get ready for the musical he was in. He was in Hello, Dolly, because Muhlenberg does.
Oh, did you go to see it?
Yeah, we saw it. It was amazing. Yeah. It was really good. It wasn't just the college. They had professional actors in it and whatnot. But
was he acting or dancing?
He was
or what?
both. He was a waiter at the restaurant.
That's cool.
But yeah, they included like it was really cool. There was a lot of cool dancing. The music was great. They did really well. And we see him and we stay the night at the hotel in Pennsylvania. Okay, get up the next morning. Time to drive all the way back in one shot instead of stopping every 200 miles to do something. We just drove all the way back. And we planned we were gonna leave super early and try to get to Wells by 2 or so, but we ended up getting to Wells at like 4 or so, and still we were like, oh my god, we do not want to go here. And Sharon's like, no, it will be fun. So we still stopped there.
Oh, you still stopped at the beach.
And the waves were crazy high.
Oh, really?
Super high. It was
Hawaii high, like 20 feet.
No, the high for anything.
Maine.
For not swimming, or high for swimming in.
Yeah.
Like,
the waves are high when we went on our way to New York as well.
Yeah, it was a little more than that.
I mean, they weren't that high, but
yeah.
Being in the water.
Yeah.
Did you swim?
Well,
they swam.
Well, nobody swims in that water. Like, it was impossible to swim. You just stand there and wait to be pushed over.
Really?
Like, yeah,
well,
you don't really. Yeah, you go in the water. There wasn't actually much swimming motion going on.
I did. When we went, I swam and Sharon swam.
I know. And Jean, in France, even though it's the same latitude as us, it's much warmer there because
they have the
Gulf Stream.
Southern end is in the Mediterranean.
In Mediterranean, yeah, she doesn't live there. She lives near the English Channel,
which is chilly compared to the Mediterranean.
Yeah, but they still have the Gulf Stream, which makes it quite warm, and it was really cold. I mean, it wasn't sunny at that point. It was cloudy and high waves, but it was really fun. It was fun. And then we drive back to the house, and that's the end of the trip. Yeah, we get there. I actually drove back from Wells. I thought I was gonna kill us. I was so. I almost fell asleep.
What? Really?
No, I thought I was going to. But then I'm like, no, I'm not. If I were really that tired, I would tell someone else to drive. And I got back, and I'm like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Yeah. Like, I realized that what am I talking about? I'm not.
How late was it?
I don't know. We got back at like 11:30 or something. Yeah. But I mean, after having slept like 2 hours the night before.
Yeah. Driving back from. That's actually one of the things I did over the summer. I had my first like real job, other than photography, wedding photography. I worked at Hershey Retreat, doing weddings, and I would get there at. It depends on the day. If there was a lot of yard work that needed to be done, I'd get there around 11, and I wouldn't leave until 12 or 1. And
that's 13 or 14 hours after, not 2 or 3 hours, is what he means.
Of what? What?
Like, you get there at 11, you don't leave 2 hours later.
Right.
You leave, like...
1 in the morning, or 12 in the morning, getting back
Midnight,
home at 1. And that's the toughest thing to drive that late. Because, keep in mind, I've been at the dishwasher for 8 hours straight, washing 300 dishes. I touched all of the plates that were used that day.
Yeah.
And but anyway, that's what I did.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it was a really fun trip, and we got back, and for the month of July we spent time with John.
And I didn't even know this is happening
family.
Until you guys got back. And then that's when somehow Sharon and I became more connected because of Abby's play.
Oh, yeah.
Which was shortly after you guys came back.
Yes, yeah.
And so I started hanging out over there a little bit more.
It was a month after.
Yeah, but it went by fast.
Whatever,
it went by quickly.
Yeah. And yeah, it was good. And
did we even talk about the performance? Oh yeah, a little bit. We talked about it.
So yeah, with Jean, it was fun to have her there, and our French improved a lot. It was good, and we went down to Wells a few more times, and Bar Harbor, and all these places that required lots of driving.
Yeah.
And played mini golf about 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, most of our summer was spent sitting in the back seat of a white van.
Yeah. Oh, that was so funny. The first night Jean got there, we were in the hotel. I tried to teach her how to play cribbage.
Oh, Gabe.
And it was the most difficult thing I've ever done. I sat down and I'm like, okay. I explained it to her in English, and I asked her, do you understand? And she said, no. I asked her, what don't you understand? Everything. And I'm like, okay. So then I tried to explain it in French, which is difficult because I didn't know the word for suit or like any cribbage vocabulary. Like, well,
15-2,
now
15-4.
I know. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to.
It's an American game. It's an all-American game. It's a Maine game. Like, nobody's heard of it except for people in Maine.
Alaska too.
Yeah, Alaska.
Those are like
just basically the same state.
And New Mexico. But
really?
That's it. Yeah. But anyway, it was very difficult. So we decided to quit, and we played not charades. What's that game called? Pictionary, sort of. You just guess.
Yeah, I like that game.
Yeah, that we played with the 4 or 5 or however many of us. That was really fun. We had teams, 4 of us then, I guess, and that was good because we actually knew if she needed help with the words, or if we needed. Yeah, I guess if she needed help, one of us knew the word in French and could explain it. It was
one of the things that we did.
It's a good vocabulary builder too.
I'm just saying this because I remember now. Is for the first year. The drive-in theater was open in Bangor. And this is like this is a new thing for most of us. I mean, it's an older thing, but they just introduced it again to the local.
Reintroduced it, just down the road from us, not
and
very far.
Abby didn't know how to get there. I don't think she was driving. It was Abby, you, me, John.
In the white van.
And
Reggie,
and I'd like to... Reggie wasn't there.
Yeah,
he was. No, he was in the pans thing. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Hannah was there, but no, Reggie wasn't there. And... Oh, yeah, he was away doing his... he had a competition.
In Trinidad.
He had a pans competition. Well, which we'll talk about.
Pans, not pants.
Pans.
Steel drum.
But it was Abby and I in the front seat in this very large tinted window, white van.
Yeah.
And we drove up, and the sight that must have
Give
been
us 10 tickets.
Yeah. And
Got
just
some
one
kids in the back.
And the weirdest part was we had a mattress.
There was a mattress in the back. We took out 2 rows of the seats. One of them's usually out anyway. We took out one more row of the seats and put in a mattress and blankets and pillows, so we had something to sit on because the seats aren't very comfortable.
So we backed up the van, and we had a screen kind of thing.
We were lucky to find this mesh screen in the
Who
car
has
already.
A mesh screen in their car?
Because the mosquitoes were ridiculous.
It's right near a swamp.
Right?
So...
it's a swamp with gravel over it, pretty much. And so we opened the doors because you can't see through so we opened the back doors, the I don't know, they're like French doors, I guess. I don't know what they're called on cars, but and put the screen up.
Hatch doors.
Yeah. We try to somehow connect it and hang it over the door. It was very delicate. And then we sat down.
Yeah. And then it fell down.
And then it fell down. And there were mosquitoes everywhere, and people were getting bitten, except for me. I did not get bitten at all, I don't think.
Yeah.
But Jean, that was horrible. And Hannah as well.
Yeah.
But that was fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cold, but
it was a little cold, but
yeah, just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah.
So we're I think, about to wrap up the episode. I think we need to have one more episode.
At least.
Because we have a few more things. It was an exciting summer.
Yes, it was. And we're just telling the highlights.
Yeah. So, wrapping up this episode with the song La Mer by Charles Trenet.